Basically, this webinar is for starting App Engine and GWT and actually using it on a real project. Not just a standard Hello World demo, but rather on a real application. So, okay, everybody ready? So, this project is, I guess my introduction you didn't hear a while ago. I'm Dan De Lima. I work for Google Japan, and I've been in the Philippines 2 weeks ago in the developer fest, and I met some of you guys. And I also met a few people who's volunteering for PPCRV on the upcoming elections next year. So I would like to help and volunteer my time, and Google is providing some of the infrastructure so that we could have a portal site that would have basically unlimited scalability, and this is what I'm trying to evangelize now, so that all of you guys can help out, or you could use App Engine in your projects or GWT, and it will be a great help for everybody. Okay, so let's start. So let me just show you first what I started in the past few days. Actually, I haven't been working much on it, but here's the sample site. So this is running on my local host, but you can all go to free1.hotspot.com. So from here, you can basically see the application I built. So if you can see, this is the first portal page. There's a login, which is connected to Google Login, and you can just type your password here, and then it goes to the website with you logged in. And this runs on AppSpot, which is the place where your App Engine runs. It's free. Once you deploy your application, it's there. So this free one is the application ID. So that is the identifier for your application. So don't worry about the URL for now, because this is just a test URL. You can put it on like freephilippineelections.com if you want later. So this is what I've been doing for, I guess I spent almost 8 hours or 10 hours on this page. So I integrated it with Google Login, which is like 2 lines of code, and you can also log out, which if you see, it goes to google.com really fast and goes back to your page. Now it's now logged out. So yeah, people are popping in. I guess we just have to wait longer. So so here's the login, and it's just basically a portal site. It's like I took this template from somewhere, and it's free. I just use it temporarily, so let's try logging in again. Okay, so once you're logged in, I also made, this is the App Engine part. Well, and I integrated a GWT part, which is register as a volunteer. So in this page is like, this is already the GWT part. So if you can see, you can enter stuff here. I haven't provided much logic yet, but yeah, this is like really quick and dirty job. So, and there's a next button. Yeah. So the purpose of this webinar is to actually explain how I built this really fast, quick, and really easy. So again, if you have questions, just pop it in moderator. I'll answer them immediately, or you can just pop them on Twitter. It's in the hash page. You can check like the chat button on the lower right corner, and you can see the links there. So, okay, first, so how did I start this project? So, I'm a Java person. I don't use Java on my work here, but it's my favorite language, so I use Java. And this project is actually done in Java. And to actually show you how I started, I'll just pop a few links. So okay, so I just new project, web application project here. Then okay, so I just say, let's say my new project. So let's say change the bearer name, elections. So this is where you put your project name, the package, and you just check this too. Use Google Web Toolkit if you want to use Web Toolkit, or just App Engine. Then if you click finish, that will create something like this, the page selections. So inside that project, I placed a few parts in that already. So let me focus on what's initially there. So this var is your standard Java servlet. So this is like your web folder. Anything that's here is accessible directly, except inside the web INF. So from here, so as you can see, all of the static files are here, the CSS, the images, they're all here. And also, you just copy this here and it will all be okay. And it will be accessible directly. So how do I run this project that I just created? So there's these two buttons here, which is this one is the deploy one, and this is the compile for GWT. So you just right click the project and you say run as web application. So once you run this, it actually starts the server here on the console, and something happened. Okay, I have already one started. So let me go to that and kill that for now. Yeah. So there. So we're in a clean slate here. So again, if you start it, just click this one. Like I'll show you again. I click page selections, then run as web application. So it starts the hosted mode because I clicked on GWT. So if you check the console, so it starts the click debug, and basically you get this page. Yeah. So it's exactly the same as what you see on the free one, and it's ready to go. Yeah. So if you click this, the GWT application would run. Yeah. Is there a question? Oh, I guess I'm not well used to this thing, but yeah. You can pop the questions in moderator, and I guess that's faster, but okay, so it's the same thing. You see it exactly as the one you see it deployed. So it's simple steps. So I guess okay. Yeah. So from here, how does that really work? So how did that come from a blank application? So let's start a new one here, and I'll just show you what from start, what it looks like. So we'll check only App Engine for now. So here's a from scratch project. This is what it looks like. So there's like this COM-PH where this is a normal servlet, the one that you're really used to. Like it's a raw one, like a raw HTTP server. So if you access that, that will just go to like the standard. So let me kill my server here, and let me start that new project we just made. So if I click that, didn't start. Okay, I guess I wasn't able to put it. It just says this, and then your application is ready to go. So there. So that's what it looks like once you start a first project. So how did it get from here to here? So that's what I'm going to explain. So first, I selected a web platform, which is Apache Quick. It's not made by Google, or it just happened to be my favorite what do you call that, web platform. So why I picked Apache Quick, it's just purely preference. It's not required by App Engine, and except that this is really very easy to learn. So as you'll see later how I build pages, it's really easy. So this is what I used. So what I did to actually integrate this is I just copied the jars in the WebINF lib. So as you can see in our library, I added these two. The other jars are already there by default. As you can see here, they're already there. The same with our starting project. So I only added these two jars, which are Quick jars. And from there, I also added what Quick needs, like the Quick XML, and also a few hacks needed to be made. Like for example, I created a workaround listener for making sure that Quick works. So basically just that. And from there, you already have a web platform working. So what does this web platform do for me? So for example, this first page you see here, like this page index HTML, it's rendered directly from page folder inside more and index.html. That's pretty common sense, right? So what does page index.html look like? Let me just make my fonts bigger for the people looking. Okay, let's just make it a bit bigger. Okay. Okay. So it's under page index.html, exactly the same way as you see on the web page, and it's what it contains: start content, the content part, and free elections. So you'll see that, hey, where's the header? Where's the footer? Like, where's this part? Like, where's that? Where's the register as volunteer? And the bottom part, which is here or not. So it's already a web platform, so it gets rendered because it automatically gets paired with this index.page, indexpage.java. So indexpage.java basically contains nothing except that you can put title equals welcome. So when you say title equals welcome, that goes directly to the title here. See, there's a welcome here already. So I already created a base page, which this also does the inheritance thing and all of the, like, what we already expect on Java. And let me just remove the split here to make it easier for you to see. Okay, so from here, as you can see, it's like the login part is here, the header. So you can see the login part here, and you can see, I would say public string title equals change me here. So the default would be change me until the child class, like index page, would change it. So welcome. And then I say here that the template here is base.html. So if you load that base.html, it just looks like this. It's a velocity template. So for you guys who haven't seen velocity template yet, it's just a pure like template. So you put the HTML here without any logic, and this part stuff will become all the what it contains, like header, so sidebar. So here is where the page would come in. Parse path $. So right panel would show up here and other things. So it's just a plain template. And index page would map to index.html, and that's why you see this page. So that's what this page is for. Okay. So the page you see in index.html actually is only this one. Yeah, the real content. Okay. Okay, so that thing cleared up. So what I built now is just the index page and the base page. So these two pages are actually what builds all of the pages here. So first, I want to tackle how I made this login. Like, how does this login work? So actually, there's this login and logout buttons are on the base page. So all of the child pages which implements base page would have this link on top. So how does this login get generated? So if we open base page, there's a command here, user service factory.get user service. This is just a factory that creates the user service that is the Google API. After you get the user service, you get the current user, which is the user already logged into Google. So this doesn't have to be Gmail. This just has to be a Google account. So we usually call it the GAE account, which is it can be any email address or anything. So then you get the user. If it's null, that means nobody's logged in. So that's why you create a login link. See? And else there's somebody logged in, so you create a logout link. So how do you create the login link? So if you can see here, you just call user service, create login URL, and then you pass out where you want it to go after login. So this is a click call that says, hey, this is this current page. So what is created is this line. So if you can see, down below it's like google.com account service login. So that's where it goes, and it just says, hey, after you're done, go to freeholder.upspot.com. So after you log in here, which is what I will do, it will go to our website in just 4 or 5 lines of code. Okay. So I just created an external link which creates the actual link here, the one we saw earlier, and boom, this is the toolkit, and there you go. You have a login component. So do you have questions? So again, just pop it on the moderator page. It's on the chat box, tiny URL, .com GAE 101. It's there and it's ready to go. What else? Okay, so we have a login link, and you just do the same thing for the logout. So if there's somebody logged in, which is in the else part, you just say create logout URL, then where you want it to go, which is just, I just want it to go like to the root, which is the home folder. Yeah. So then it would create this. It would log out your Google account. Yeah. The good thing here is, if you log out here, it logs you out on all of the Google services. So you only have to do it once on one page. Then, like, your Gmail would go, your like any other Google services you use would go. So which is a good plus. So you don't have to really think of logging out. Because if you click log out in one browser, you're pretty much gone. Okay. So how did I get this name? Like hyphenation. Like how did I get that? It's just a simple so let's check here. It says header.htm. So let's open header.htm here. So if you can see, this is actually the menu part in the upper. So this is the menu part, and there's one here at home and register as a volunteer. So down here you see if $user. So if there is a user set, just say user.nickname and user.email. So it's simple as that. Then you get this. You get the user and the name. So that user, this user object is actually the user object here, which is a Google standard user. So if you can see Google appengine.api.users.user. So that's where it would go. And then okay, we covered the users part. So that's how easy it is to incorporate users in your pages. Now let's go to the GWT part. That's where the fun is. Like, so you've covered click, like using a web platform to make it really easy for you. Just pop in the HTML. You could use anything you want. There's like lots of stuff there in the web. For example, you can use like just search for Google App Engine compatible web frameworks. So there. Okay, it's just here somewhere. So it's just there on the here I think. Nope. Yeah, where was that? I think I saw it last night. I guess I didn't save it, but yeah, it's just there. So there's like a lot of like 10 or 20 supported web platforms which you can run on your App Engine instances, so that you don't have to bother making the servlets for them. So you just concentrate on the content, and then the rest will be done for you. So let's go to the register as a volunteer. So if you see this, you see a GWT application here. So this is really the good part. Yeah. So this should eat up most of our time supposed to be. So how did I integrate this? How did that show up on my page? So if you see, it's page register start.html. So let's open that file. It's in page register start.html. So in here, you just see, remember that this file only has to be the content part, which is this part of the browser. Because the rest will be automatically filled out because it's implementing base page. So So from here, I actually see that, like, you just say div ID equals app. And this app is actually, GWT can take on the whole body of your page, which means the whole browser. But in our case, you don't want that. You just want the content part because this is the registration part. So I just created a div which has an app in it. Like this app ID, there's like this small catch. This ID has to be on the root level. That means on other parts of the code, there should be no IDs on top. So if we check this code, well, so this app div here is like the only ID up to body. So this header is a different thing. So under page, I changed it to class simply because this ID equals something has to be the root. Okay. So okay, so here's the code. So how does GWT know that it's going to insert an app? So first, to create a GWT application in your existing app engine, you just right-click on the package where you want it to pop, which is on my case, com.php ph elect GWT register package. Just right-click new, other. Then here I create a module. So first you create a module which creates this XML file. So every application has to have a module. So here, inside the module you say that, hey, the entry point, which would be like your main, is this class. And the rest here is just boilerplate. So it says you want user, you want standard theme, etc. And this is the standard style sheet which you made. And basically that's that. And then if you go to this class, which is this, actually you can create that really easy by clicking right click. Creating a module will create this client package. This client package is the one that actually gets translated to JavaScript. So only put the classes there where when they are GWT compatible, which is basically all of the normal Java classes. So here you just say new, other, Google, then entry point class. So if you do that, it's a standard create class method, and it will create something like this, like volunteer sign up entry point. Just implement entry point and has an on module load. So this is the one that gets called. So here I say this root panel equals dot get app. So this app part is where we want our deck panel to go in. So that's how it happens. So that's why you see that part displayed on this side, the div app. So this entire application part is where GWT would work on. Okay? Okay. So that's how GWT works. So this volunteer sign up, so that this entire component you see here, this one chunk, has no HTML. It only has this Java code. So let's open this first page panel which I created. So if I open this, it looks like this. So ignore the next click handle. It only actually has two pieces. The personal info panel, which is the top part, and the bottom part is the contact info panel. So here. So I just extended the first page panel as a vertical panel, simply because it's vertical, right? You see one component here, second component down here, and third component is just the next button. So you see here it's just added personal, then contact, then set the text of the next button, then I added so that if next gets clicked, it calls the next click handler here down below. So we'll tackle the events later, But for now, let's tackle how that page got made. So let's see personal info panel. So inside this personal info panel, you see like it's a decorator panel. What's that? So decorator panel is just simple. It's just this blue box around. You can change the color of the blue box. You can make it stars or whatever you want. So basically that's that. And then I usually make it like this. So why not get getters instead of it? Because it's just a hassle. It just makes the code longer. But on bigger projects, you might want it that way. But for this kind of project, I just want it on the default security and all of the components here. So it's the first name, middle name, last name, all in text boxes, some in list boxes. The list box is the one that shows up as a combo box right here. So it's just preparing everything, and once the constructor gets called, this is where the layout would work. So as you can see, that is laid out in like, let's say 50 rows, more or less. So 50 or 60 rows of code. I just want it neat, that's why it's longer. But actually, this is a few lines of code. So what I do is, I actually split this into panels. So, for example, I added the text first name, which is this part, into a vertical panel. This VPP root is actually the entire vertical rows of this thing. So this UI field is actually, I just created them. It basically just adds the field name, which is the first name, and then asterisk here, which makes it kind of look cool. And so it's just this, first name, and I say true because it's required. So if I say true here, as compared to one false here, it actually just doesn't show the asterisk, which on web convention, that just means you need it. Okay, so I place the width here and something. So inside this decorate text box is just this. So I laid out as a horizontal panel, label, then the asterisk, then put those fields in that order. Like this is a small vertical right here. So what do I say? I don't have to bother with HTML anymore. I just slam all those codes, which would work as expected. So just abstract them so that it becomes one line like this. Yeah. So all the repetitive code you could just can them and like put in on some util. So here is the middle name and the last name. So that's why it's like across each other. It's because I just put them on some horizontal panel, and I added a horizontal panel on the root vertical panel. Okay, so basically just that. And you see the rest here is like repetitive, gender, occupation, even the list box. So then you have this interface already done. Quick and easy. I created this form in like an hour. Yeah. Mainly because I was watching TV. But yeah, but still, it's still like a lot easier to do than having HTML, putting all of those stuff together, like the asterisk being read, for those who actually play with HTML, it's like hell. Then if you just change something, like for example, I want this on another place, like then hell breaks loose. Okay, so either I'm doing super well or people are not catching up. So if you have questions, just pop them anytime. Okay. So the one below here, the contact, is actually smaller code. So let's go back to the first page panel here. So it's just contact info panel. So it's really short since it's a small window. Okay. So let's go to the interesting part. So what does this form actually do? Like, for example, what does this thing do? So if I type something here, like, let's put Eileen's name here. Okay, I just coded these 3 fields to be saved. So what it does is, if you click next here, actually gets saved to the database, which is really nice. We go to the database. So this is the dashboard. It's accessible by appengine.google.com. And you see the dashboard here, like how many requests do we get right now. Oh my God, it's loading. Yo, wow, we have some accesses there. So here there's a data viewer. So in this data viewer you see people, volunteer, okay. Yeah. So where is our again? This is free Hawaiian, I check. Got that. Okay. Okay. Let's see the logs here. Okay, looks like it's okay. That's weird. Let me see. Let's take it again. Looks like it did its job. Yeah, so it's there. I guess I just didn't click it the first time. Okay, so here you actually see it already. This data viewer actually saves it on the Google Data Store. So how does that happen? So how quick is it to make one? So really quick and dirty pass through, that's the next quick handler. So in the next quick handler, you just say create this. I created this service, which is an AJAX call. So for you guys who don't know AJAX, it's like it's a background on the web browser, so that doesn't have to change page just to send something. That's what the next thing does. So this is quite a lot of technology in very short lines of code, so feel free to ask questions if you get lost. So GWT has a standard secure RPC. So an RPC is a remote call to the server. Normally if you write JavaScript, you would have to like send your data in plain text, and a server would receive it, and then you send a reply. So here you just say, I want this service, register service, which inside contains register volunteer. So that's my remote service. So I just say on the server, it's gonna be named register service. So if you say like with this name, it just once you call register volunteer, it goes to the server transparently. You don't have to worry much about it. So let's go back to that file a while ago. Yeah. So here, when we say git create, it actually creates the async version. So it's an async call, asynchronous call. So this is short for asynchronous. So that means once you call it, you don't get a response immediately. You'll get it after a few, after the server gets finished. So what happens is you create an async callback, which this is where you place your, once it's successful, do this. So it's here. So once it's a failure, just do this. Okay? So it's simple as that, and this is how you actually call it down below. See? So register SV is the one we created with git create. Then .register volunteer. Then you say, I want to register registrant. So I just grab the first name from text first name get text here, and same for the middle name and last name. Then I created a key. So this key is actually just my work. It's not, it hasn't to be there. It doesn't have to be there. So I just created register last name, comma, first name. So Then you call register volunteer, then it goes to the database. The database is here. So that's why ID/name is for my name and my name. Okay, so yeah, basically that. I didn't get to cover the server side, so let's just see the code there quite a bit. So it's on the server package, which is a convention. You can change it if you want. So this register service implementation just extends from remote service servlet and implements register service. So from there, just run like implement register volunteer, and here is where it saves to the database. Just call like persistence manager DB, get persistence manager, then make persistent volunteer. So this is the same volunteer that gets passed in. So that's simple. Then you close the database, then you're done. It's on the database. Okay. So basically that covers like really fast what I did over the past day preparing this. So right, we have like a few minutes left for questions. This is actually supposed to be help for people who want to volunteer for the free elections effort. So I can do it alone, and I was hoping like a few hundred people. Just kidding. Just as many people as possible to actually build this portal. So what's the win here? The win would be, the dream would be, so that every person can send information on this portal, and it would be processed on top of App Engine, so that we ensure that during the elections, our servers don't go down, regardless of like news or, because it's just one country anyways. So I was hoping to like get all the volunteers here, and volunteers could use SMS to send reports, and this system would aggregate all those reports to like provide a more user-centric view of the elections, like what's happening on my surroundings, like what's happening on the global scale. We get to see both at the same time. So unlike television, which just is very biased for national scale problems, and you don't really know that on your surrounding there's like war on your precinct or something. So this is hopefully a portal for the results, the real-time results, happenings, and hopefully with volunteers that actually would help me build a system, we could create something that would make a better and cleaner elections. So I guess there was no questions on moderator, and we have like 2 minutes left. So if you still have questions, you still have time to like post it there. And okay. So I guess Eileen, yeah. Any more questions? Like, yeah. Okay. Nakakapag-Tagalog din ako. Nakakapag-Tagalog din ako. Ang problema lang ay medyo kailangan ng konting buwelo. Yeah. Ayan. So, kinuhi tayo lahat dito, and okay. Yan, question from somebody. It's what is Apache Click? So it's just my favorite web platform, which I used just a few months ago in one of my pet projects. Nothing specific. It's not made by Google. I just used it because it's fast and it's easy to use. Just that. You can browse Apache Click website, which is this. And as you can see, it's really small. You can see the quick start here. It's just says that there. You have like a 6-step web platform. So, and it works for App Engine, which is what I like about it. And yeah, basically just that.